All right, what's up guys? Today in this video, we're gonna be looking at what's in my bag for the 2025 season. So we'll kick off with putters. I'm bagging the Swirl Challenger SS. Really like this plastic blend because it's nice and stiff, but also still really grippy. And I find that even when they're a little bit wet, I never have to compromise grip. So just really nice, straight flying putter, no bead, really comfortable. Let's see, for approach discs, I've got the Swirl Challenger OS. So this one, it flies straight with a little bit of overstability, so I can really trust it into headwinds, or if I need a shot that's gonna glide really well but still finish left, this is what I'm reaching for. And then my main throwing putter is an ESP Challenger SS. This one's beaten in nicely. They start out a little overstable, but this one's beaten in nicely and is super, super straight. This is go-to for most of my backhand approach shots. And then for the understable, I've got a CryZtal Fierce. So this one I've been throwing for a while, have an ace on it. This is just for shots that I need to get to drift a little bit more to the right. And then I bag two zones. So the Z zone's a little bit more overstable. This is for windy shots or shots that need to fade a little bit harder. And then I've got a Z Glo Zone that's a little bit straighter. I use this for probably most of my forehand approaches. And then lastly, I've got the Z Swarms. This is the first run of Swarm that they gave us. Just if I need something I can hammer on that's gonna be really, really overstable, get a nice skip, but not as fast as like a driver, I'm reaching for the Swarm. Now next for mid-ranges, we'll start with the flippy stuff. I bag a Buzzz SS. So this is anything for super straight to drifting really slowly to the right. Really like the Buzzz SS. It also, forehand-wise, feels pretty similar to a zone. So if I need something that's really flippy for short forehand shots, I can throw the Buzzz SS for that as well. Then next up, I throw the 2020 Tour Series Buzzz. So this is in that Z Swirl plastic. This is my favorite run of Buzzz because it seems no matter how beat in they get, they never get too flippy for me. They stay pretty straight with just a touch of stability through most of their life. And then when I need something a little bit more overstable in the mid-range slot, I like the Ben Callaway Nebula. This is also in the Z Swirl plastic. It flies like just a touch beefier than a Buzzz even after it's beat in a little bit. It's also got a little bit smaller diameter. It's a diameter of a putter, so a little bit more comfortable for some people's hands. Really nice overstable mid-range. Now moving on to fairways, we'll go slow fairways. I've got the ESP Cicada, and this one kind of comes in and out of the bag depending on the course. It's more of like a woods disc for me because of how understable it is. Usually if I need a right finishing shot on an open course, I'm going forehand, but occasionally I like to have something a little bit more understable in the bag, and that's the ESP Cicada. Also comes in and out of the bag is the ESP Heat. So I've got it in the bag this week because I might need it on hole 18 at Olympus if I want to go for eagle on the last hole. But usually I use the Heat for either rollers or big long shots that are gonna finish off to the right. When you get this on the right angle, it basically flies like a forehand, just goes really far. And this one is in the bag on kind of a trial basis. I haven't decided if I'm officially bagging it, but it's the new Cigarra. It's just a little bit more overstable than the Cicada. I don't know if I'll end up using both, but we're giving it a try for now. And then I bag two Athenas. This one is a first run ESP Athena. It's been in the bag for almost 2 years. It's very, very beat in and a very straight flyer. Starting to become more of a woods disc just because of how beat in it is, but it's a really easy straight flight. And then this one's a fresh prototype ESP Athena, a lot more overstable. I can work on some soft flex lines or some really reliable hyzers in the 300 to 330 range. And now getting into faster fairways, I bagged two Undertakers. This one's a TI Undertaker that I got out of a used bin at Myrtle Beach. And it was just for like a fun 3-disc challenge on that day, but it ended up making the bag. And now it's beat it even more. It's like throw it on a hyzer and it has just this slow, smooth flip and eventually drifts to the right. So really great woods disc, really great for uphill shots as well. And then this one's kind of relatively new in the bag, but I've got a 6-claw ESP Undertaker. This one's just a little bit more overstable version of the TI. I can throw it on a hyzer and it's just gonna go straight for days. And then next up, I've got two Vultures in the bag right now. This one is my 2023 Tour Series with the bottom stamp, ESP Swirl. This one's pretty neutral with like just a little bit of overstability. So if I want just a long control shot, that's pretty straight, but definitely won't turn over on me. This is what I'm reaching for. And then if I need something that's a little bit beefier, this is a newer run of ESP that is surprisingly beefy, beefier than most ESP runs I've seen, but really nice and overstable, can throw flex lines with it, can throw really steep turnovers, just a really versatile disc. And then last, for the fairways, I've got my Raptors. I bagged the Aaron Gossage Tour Series from 2024, which might be my favorite runner Raptor. They're still overstable like most Raptors, but this one actually beats in to have a really nice straight flight. I love it for hyzer flip forehands. It's super torque resistant, but flies really straight, and it's still a Raptor, so I never turn it over too much. And then this is a really, really beefy board flat Z Raptor. I throw this for flex shots, mostly forehand, or for spike hyzers forehand and backhand. It's almost as beefy as a Captain's Raptor, but not quite. Just really nice overstable for my arm speed. Now moving on to drivers, I bag 2 drives. This one's a little bit more understable. This is the First Run ESP drive. Basically flies like a little bit longer Undertaker, so if I want a little bit more distance but I'm not ready to disc up to something really fast, I like to reach for one of these. And then this is a test flight. It's just a little bit more overstable, almost flies like a little bit longer Vulture. And now getting into my go-to distance drivers, I've got a Captain's Thrasher, ESP First Run. This one's like just a little bit overstable, so I can hit it pretty hard and it never really turns much, but just a nice, easy distance line without needing to flex it or anything, can get it out to about 380, no problem. And then I just put this back in the bag. I had bagged it the first year I was on the team, took it out because I thought it was a little too flippy, but now that I've gotten a little bit better at my forehands and my flip-up shots, I've decided to put it back in the bag. But this is a very beat-in force. It's actually even flippier than my Captain's Thrasher, but just really easy to get pure distance, both forehand and backhand. And then I've got a team stamped ESP Force. This thing's about as beefy as I need for most conditions. Just really easy hyzers. I can throw up flex shots, and I just know it's never gonna overturn on me. And then on the rare occasion, I do have just insane headwinds. I have a ZForce in the bag. I've yet to find a wind that was too strong for this disc. I only need it a few times a year, but I'm very glad when I do have it. And then last, when I've got just a wide open shot and I want pure distance, I'm reaching for an ESP Nuke. This one is nice and flippy, so I can hit it on a little bit of anhyzer and get a nice full flex shot out of it. Can get it out to about 460 if I hit the line right. And if I've got just a little bit too much headwind for that one, I've got a little bit more overstable version of the Nuke. And for 2025, I'm going with the Squatch Legend bag in the Iceberg colorway. And then I've also got my new Easy Cart from Zuka. This white one this is a one of one right now, but it's gonna be available as my signature cart. So thank you to both Squatch and Zuka for getting me ready for 2025.